accounting is critical in every single organization, even if they don't even know that they're a business organization. You have to track where the numbers are, where your money is, just to survive in the process. So here's the formal definition. The recording, classified, summarizing, interpreting of financial events and transactions provide management and other interested the information they need to make good decisions. Actually, it's a good definition. It's a bit lengthy in the process, but you really need to sit down and track everything. You need to record what you're doing, you need to classify it appropriately, summarize it, and then interpret what's going on the inside. A lot of people are interested in it. We call them stakeholders. No, it's not about eating beef or anything else like that. It's stake, S-T-A-K-E. And those are people that have a vested interest in the outcome of what the organization is doing. Sometimes you don't even think about who that could be. Sometimes you always view a stakeholder as just the people inside the organization, but often, a lot of times, your community around the business also is watching to see what's going on with it. In accounting, we followed something called GAAP, G-A-A-P, Generally Accepted Accounting Principles. There's actually a whole list of them. If you're really into this, make certain you just type in the word GAAP on your computer. You'll see all the different rules will pop up and populate, and there's a lot of them, but there really are a lot of common sense things as you come through. The accounting system, a lot of times you have different aspects of it. Some of them you don't even think are accounting documents. All your sales documents. A receipt is actually a document for accounting. Purchasing, as you go through, a shipping document. Let me give an example about purchasing. You have to initially, in a large organization, you initiate a requisition. The requisition is reviewed by purchasing and they issue a purchase order. The purchase order is sent to the vendor. The vendor then responds with the product, and the product comes in a box. In the box, you open it up, there's a packing slip. That also is an accounting information item. You check in the items, you put your initials on it, you put the date, send that up to accounting. They compare the initial requisition and the purchase order to what you received on the packing slip. They match it up and then they pay the bill. All that is accounting documents and they have to all be tracked, anywhere from bank records. And then you go through and you process all these different things. You normally process things in a journal. You record things chronologically by date order when you receive them. And then eventually you transfer them into a thing called a ledger. A ledger, you take things and you put them by classification or category in the process. So you have a journal, chronological, ledger by category, and then you summarize the different kinds of accounts. And then eventually you have outputs of the accounting thing, and they call them financial statements. The three major ones, there's other ones, but the three major ones are called the balance sheet, the income statement, and the statement of cash flows. Sometimes you call them different names, like the income statement. A lot of times the slang word is your profit and loss or your P&L statement. So you'll hear different terminologies, but those are the three main accounting documents you have to know about just to sit down and have the basic elements of business. Who uses it? The government, the tax people, anybody interested in the organization. If you sell stock in the organization, you literally have to publish your information on an annual report as you come through. There's all kinds of different things you have to go through, but among them is what we call the accounting cycle. There's 6 basic steps to it. You track them all through bookkeeping, which is a recording of business transactions. And here's a term you have to know about. It's called double entry bookkeeping. You have, for every single thing that you write a transaction, you record it in 2 places so you can check one against the other for accuracy as you go through. So here is the 6 steps in the accounting cycle. You analyze the source documents, sales slips, travel slips, a record, a purchase order as you go through. You analyze the transaction, you record them all into the journal. And then from the journal, you post it into the ledger. And then the ledger, you take a trial balance. A lot of times you do a trial balance on a monthly basis just to make certain all the numbers are aligned. And then you prepare your financial statements, your balance sheet, your income statement, your statement of cash flows, those 3 statements, and then you analyze your financial statements. This is an ongoing process, and this is what keeps accountants busy all the time. just so you know, in my mind, accounting is necessary for every single business. For every business person's mind, it's necessary in every business. And also, there's always a plethora of accounting opportunities. So keep that in mind for a career choice as you go through. The ledger, it's a specialized accounting book. Usually it's not a book anymore. Usually it's a program. You have the different journals and you accumulate them in the journals and they automatically transfer them often into the ledger. And then from there, you sit down and do some tweaking. You create your trial balance as you come through. The two jobs you talk about normally on the daily transactions, we call it a bookkeeper, okay? And then we have also the accountants in the process as you come through, and they're a little bit higher level generally in most organizations. So in the role of accounting information, know about the inputs and the outputs, double entry bookkeeping, the journal, which is chronological, the ledger, which is categorical, about the trial balance, and the bookkeeper accountant track all these different things. And there's 6 different steps that we go through. Accounting, yes, it may not be necessarily exciting on the edge of the seat things, but you have to have it to make certain you have the documentation and the tools to sit down there and run your organization, as well as the money that attracts. Take care.